Hello everyone, Vegas Vic 1965. Yes, this week's video, you guessed it, it's all about camels and where to find them. So without further ado, let's find out. Welcome back everyone, Vegas Vic 1965. Now camels are a new mob introduced, a passive mob introduced into the 1.20 version of Minecraft. And these guys appear or are generated when the world has generated itself inside a village, a desert village only. Now I personally have only seen one camel per village. If anybody has seen more than one camel generate in a desert village, please hit me up in the comments and let me know. Now camels cannot be pushed by other mobs, as you can see here, or by other players. They have a very large hitbox, the largest as far as I'm aware, and they stand in at just under 2.5 blocks tall, so making them the tallest passive mob that we have in the game. They'll wander around aimlessly through the village. They'll avoid different hazards like other passive mobs would, like the cactus and things like that. And if one happens to die, unfortunately, they will not spawn back in. Once one spawns in, as I mentioned earlier, they spawn in during game generation, and you cannot get any more unless you breed them. If a camel happens to have taken some damage, you can replenish their health with cactus. But also they will regenerate health over time. And cactus just happens to be the food that you need to breed additional camels. You'll get a small one there, and of course you'll take time to grow up. And then of course these two, just like any other passive mob, it will take about 20 minutes before the little one grows up to be an adult. And then again, you can increase that speed at which they grow to an adult by feeding the little one more cactus. If you're trying to get your camels to follow you, the easiest way would either be by cactus, because they'll follow you with those, or by using a lead. All of our passive mobs that we've kept in the past, we've been able to keep behind a 2-block high space or a fence or even a wall. Now when it comes to camels, these guys can actually go over a 1.5 block space. So for example, right here, these camels can go right over that if they would like to. So you want to make sure that your walls or your fences are at least 2 fences high or 2 walls high. Now camels have a similar ability like the horse for running, but they also have something called dash, which propels them up 1 block and up to 12 blocks across, if you're lucky. Now camels are so tall that you will be safe, you and your rider, from a number of the normal melee mobs that are only 2 blocks high. As you can see right here, nobody's not being able to be attacked by these guys at all. No, that's not going to work for when it comes to creepers, when it comes to spiders, skeletons, regular pillagers. So just the 2 high mobs. If you happen to be out in the desert, you don't have to worry too much about these normal melee mobs. Now a moment ago I mentioned that you and your passenger cannot be injured by some of the melee mobs when you're riding around on the camel. And yes, that is true. 2 of you can ride a camel. Now the passenger in the back cannot injure the camel, and it cannot injure the person in the front. Now, as I mentioned earlier, the camel is pretty tall, so you want to be really careful when you're going under low hanging heights. So for example, right here, we got a 3-block high space, and this right here, we are going to we're going to take some damage, but a 4-block high space, we're just fine, and the camel is just fine under 3, but 2.5 and the camel could possibly take damage, so be careful there. Also, when you're riding in the water, believe it or not, the camel can ride into up to 3-block deep water. Now you don't want to keep that camel under too long, because he will die. He'll start to take some damage. And then if he does, and that happens, just hop off of there and feed him some cactus, or wait, and over time he will also heal. Now, unlike horses, camels do not need to be tamed. They have 1 inventory slot, and you just merely need to go up and you can right click on them with the saddle and then hop on, or you can open his inventory as well and put the saddle there once you do get on top of him. Now they do, as I mentioned earlier, can go up to 3 blocks of water deep. However, if you happen to be riding on the camel and you go any deeper, you want to make sure you get off there. You'll be dismounted, but he cannot survive. As I mentioned earlier, he will die if you keep him under the water too long. But if you have him on a leash and you happen to go into the water, he will follow you and he will float just like a horse would, as you can see right here. Now when it comes to hostile mobs, just like the normal passive mobs, most of the mobs out there, hostile mobs, will not attack a camel naturally. There are a couple that will. Zoglin, excuse me, is one of them. And then of course any Vindicators named Johnny. So be careful if anybody names a Vindicator named Johnny, you happen to find them around your area and your camels are gone, that it would be the case. If a camel is killed by a player or a tamed wolf, the camel will drop 1 to 3 experience, nothing else, unless of course they had a saddle, and the saddle will drop. Killing a baby camel yields nothing, not even experience. Now if you do breed these camels, they will drop 1 to 7 experience orbs. Now when it comes to camels and you happen to find one in a desert village and you do hop on the back of one, if you don't have a saddle you won't be able to control his movements, just like you wouldn't if you were riding a horse without a saddle as well. That's about all I can think of that I need to let you know about these camels, these awesome additions to 1.20. If you like this video, click the like button. If you want to subscribe for past or future videos, click that subscribe button. It really helps me and lets me know that I provide great quality content for you guys each and every week. If you have any questions, just remember I always answer my comments. So until next week, we'll see you then. Thank you very much for watching. Bye-bye.